good to see amazing quality character development when it comes to Eris. But I think the main theme of this episode, in my opinion, probably a fact, but still my opinion nonetheless, is people change. People change, just like Rudy said. He said himself, people change over time, whether it's through experience, whether it's because of time, whatever it may be, man. I'm trying to come up with some really good reasons on top of my head. I had an entire speech to get out everything, but it just slipped away. But anyways, yes, people change by different reasons, be it an experience through life, a certain incident, a person, a hobby. Anything can happen. One little thing can change a person. It happens all the time. Someone you once knew was a total jerk. Now they're a good person. Someone you once knew was a good person. Total jerk. You know, switches around. Someone who was very dumb can be very stupid sometimes. Someone who's very stupid can become very smart. It all depends on their own life story. Same for me and you. All the time, man. Sometimes you don't realize the change, and sometimes you can. It all determines on the individual. And seeing how Eris herself was in the village, making two new best friends. And believe it or not, this is Eris' first best friend. Well, they're both her best friends, but mainly the cat girl. Both of them are her best friend. This is her first time making one that isn't with Rudius or Ruger or anything like that. One that she made and she decided to say, hey, I'm gonna like you two. And they got to get a chance to know each other. You know, they're playing around. It's raining season, by the way. And rainy season, sometimes in forest areas, can last for a long periods of time. Sometimes in places in the forest that you will see there during rainy season, it disappears. It totally goes underwater. Or the water submerges, well, it rises throughout time and completely engulfs parts of the forest in on a matter of months sometimes, or even years, I've heard. But yes, that's the power of a rainforest. When it rains, it pours, and it don't stop for a long, long time. That's why a lot of people advise tourists or others not to go there during rainy season. It's too dangerous. Not to mention, the wildlife also gets a bit aggressive during rainy season as well. Around the time mating season as well. Coincidence. Well, anyways, she's teaching these two kids sword fighting. They're talking about their adventures, and even showing how they're the same. You know, Eris hates studying, but loves a sword fight, and if people are trying to get her to study to be more of an elegant lady, she doesn't want to do it. Same side of her friend, where she doesn't want a sword fight either. We don't know what she wants, but we just know she don't want to do sword fighting until someone got her to want to do it. For instance, ever she want to study or do magic or anything like that. But until Rudius came along and encouraged her to do it. You know, though it takes that certain person to encourage people to do something that they don't want to do for a long time. You know, you can't just force someone into it. Even if they do it, their heart won't be into it. And they probably never be good at it in the first place because they're being forced to do it. And of course, the thing with Ghislaine as well, how the village saw Ghislaine as this wild creature, you know, this monster who's just always angry, always aggressive. She too was tied down to a destiny to protect the sacred beast, which I told you guys is very important. A beast that one day become partners with the one who helped save the world. Now, who that person is, I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna say. I won't tell. I won't spoil. But wow, it's like Greek mythology stuff. Well, anyways, that was like yes. So, but I guess Ghislaine didn't want to have her destiny until one day she met a certain someone who became her master, and she became the very OP Sword King that we all know and love today. So there's that. So Ghislaine had her own growth, and throughout time she became very modest. And speaking of Ghislaine, we all know that she used to be part of Paul's group when they used to be adventurers, as class adventurers. her along with Alyssa Lane, and of course Tallhan, the the dwarf guy as well. And there's a little something you gotta know about their group, Paul's group, as their adventurers, is that they were all outcast. Think about it. Paul and Zeno were both former nobles who were abandoned from their house. They were supposed to be someone in high society, but they got abandoned. Well, they more like they left, and they became adventurers. Ghislaine was supposed to be someone who was supposed to protect the sacred beast. She left. Um, Lizzie and Tallhan's situation has yet to be explained, but they'll probably explain later down if the show continues, which I believe it will. They'll explain why they're outcasts. The I know is the entire group of Paul's group that they were in were all people who never fit in their own groups. So they came together, became one of the best adventure parties of all time. So I find that a very interesting fact that a lot of people talk about, even within the Mushoku Tensei fandom, and stuff, that they're outcast. Now, as they left, of course, people have different ways of expressing their sadness. Sometimes through aggression, like fighting Eris. Of course, even Eris grew up. Think about when we first met Eris, she was a totally different person. And now you see her now, how she was even able to hold back. If Eris was to fight someone, like she did during part 1 of season 1, she would not hold back. She'll beat the crap out of them. But this time she learns to hold back. Heck, she's even teaching people as well, which is something you never thought she would do. She still has her old ways, but she's growing. She's changing. People do change, but through that process, it's called changing. It takes time. It don't take over a day for someone to change. It takes time for someone to change. I guess you get used to that change. Is the reason why most people don't notice it, because it kind of just grew apart. It grew with you. So it's something that became natural. So that's why most people don't notice when they change most of the times. And that's how it is. Now, of course, Gisu joins them as they leave, by the way, and he was talking about the 7 great powers. I was waiting on this moment. I was waiting for them to talk about the 7 great powers, Let's see if I remember them when he said it. It was technique, dragon, demon. It was technique, dragon, demon, fighting, death, sword, and north. Yes, I knew them all. Those are the top 7 powers right now. A technique god is one who invented a lot of the strategies in the system of the power system. The dragon god you've already met from part 1. You have the death god who was talked about, which was a lot of peace. No, not the death god, but the demon god who was a lot of peace. You had the fighting god, which is yet to be seen, which he's also very OP. You have the death god yet to be seen. Then you have the north god. No, you have the sword god. So there you go. So the sword god is also powerful. So you see how Ghislaine is powerful. Instead of the sword god is leagues above Ghislaine. Leagues above Ghislaine. So imagine that. So he's the last power. The power system is ranking by who's number 1 to number 7. So he is number 7, the sword god. And they're way stronger than Ghislaine, is all I'm saying. So imagine the strongest of the 7 powers. The main 4 are presumed to be dead, which is the technique, dragon, demon, and fighting god are presumed to be dead right now. Who knows? They could be wandering around the world, just hiding. Who knows? And I think Rudy's just jinxed himself, which was freaking hilarious. Because every time Rudy hears about these interesting things, like he heard about the Serpent Tribe and them being Richard, he heard about the Chaos Breaker castle that flies around, and he ended up being one of the servants. And now that he hears about one of the 7 great powers, he might end up ending one of those 7 great powers. So, just keeps doing this to himself. But he can't help it, because people just tell him this stuff, and he's not expecting to cover his ears and say, la 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 la, can't hear you. Every time he meets one of these people, his life changes, whether for the better or for the worse. So anyways, that's all I got for this. This was the ending of Volume 4, and we head on to the Melis arc, which is Volume 5. I don't know how long the Melis arc will be, determine how it's going to be like, but it mainly focuses on what the title says, family squabble. So I guess you can already tell what that's going to be about. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has been the Madcrownxox on anime. Signing out.